From AmazingAvenue.com, headline, Top 25 Mets Prospects of 2024. At number 12, catcher Kevin Parada. Now, before we get into this video, you need to hit that subscribe button so you know what's going on with the Mets and the farm system and all these prospects that they've been accumulating over the last 2-3 years. California native Kevin Parada lettered 4 letters at Loyola High School in Los Angeles, and an accumulative 380 with 9 home runs, 15 stolen bases, and 16 attempts, and 34 walks to 51 strikeouts. Considered potentially a second and third round pick in the 2020 MLB Draft, Parada rejected all suitors who came to him with offers, intent on attending college and honoring his commitment to Georgia Tech. Hoping to be the next highly touted catcher from the school and following the footsteps of the likes of Mike Nikias. Oh, that's a name from the past in the Mets. Joey Bart, Matt Wieters, and Jason Varitek. I would also mention that Jay Payton, the former Met, and Nomar Garciaparra played at Georgia Tech many, many years ago. The backstop just about did that. Parada appeared in 52 games for the Yellow Jackets in his freshman year and hit .318 with 9 home runs. Over that time, he put on roughly 15 pounds and returned to Georgia Tech for his sophomore year, but the weight gain was all muscle, which helped his durability and power output. He appeared in 60 games in 22 and hit .361 with 26 home runs, a Georgia Tech single-season record, 11 stolen bases in 12 attempts, and 30 walks to 32 strikeouts. All in all, Parada hit .341 in 112 games at Georgia Tech, slugging 35 home runs, walking 47 times, and striking out 73 times. A draft-eligible sophomore, Parada was considered by some sources high as a top 5 prospect, but fell to the Mets when they made their first-round selection with the 11th overall pick. I would mention, this isn't in the article, that year, the Texas Rangers selected 3rd in that draft. What threw the whole draft upside down that year was they drafted Kumar Rocker. Kumar Rocker went back into the draft because the Mets had drafted him the prior year, and obviously they couldn't come up with a deal. And because the Rangers drafted and signed him, it basically, this is how Parada got down to 11 for the Mets. He signed for $5 million, a few $1,000s over the MLB assigned slot value of $4.7 million. It was assigned to the Florida Complex League Mets roughly 2 weeks later to begin his professional career. He appeared in 3 games for them in mid-August and was then promoted to the St. Lucie Mets, where he appeared in 10 games from late August until the end of the season. And .276 with 1 home run with 10 walks to 12 strikeouts. Considered the Mets' 4th best prospect coming into the 2023 season, expectations were high for him coming into his first full season, but he did not live up to them. Assigned to the Brooklyn Cyclones to begin the year, Parada hit .265 for 11 home runs. He was sluggish to start the year, hitting .213 in April, playing in cold weather for the first time in his career before turning things around with a .269 in May, .303 June, and a .274 July. At the end of July, Parada was put on the injured list with a right ankle sprain. After a short rehab stint, he returned to Brooklyn and struggled for 5 games before being promoted to Double-A Binghamton for the rest of the season. He struggled with the Roma Ponies, appearing in 16 games from the end of August until the end of September, hitting a paltry .185 with 3 homers. The Mets sent the backs up to the Arizona Fall League following the conclusion of the season, and he struggled with the Glendale Desert Dogs as well, hitting .186 in 18 games with 3 homers, 4 walks, and 29 strikeouts. At the plate, Parada has a unique pre-pitch setup, wrapping his bat behind his head and angling it down behind his back at about 4 o'clock, or raising his lead shoulder. At various points during the 23 season and during the Arizona Fall League, Parada adjusted this setup, with his bat head angled at less extreme angles as to catch up to the better velocity and breaking pitches he's facing as a professional. At Georgia Tech, with the lighter aluminum NCAA bat, this unorthodox setup did not seem to impact his ability to get himself set into a good hitting position, as he consistently made hard contact against both velocity and spin, but he struggled with it at times with Brooklyn, Binghamton, and Glendale. When he makes solid contact with the ball, Parada uses the entire field and can put a jolt into the ball. An educated hitter, he can go with pitches thrown away and drive them to right field or pull the pitches thrown inside. While never really an issue at Georgia Tech, Parada swung and missed far too often. In 2023, struck out 96 times in 87 Brooklyn games, 23 times in 14 Binghamton games, and 29 games in 18 Arizona fall games. The swing and miss issues were most magnified in the games following his return from injury, so reining the strikes will be key to Parada in 2024. Evaluating catcher defense is difficult, but most scouts and evaluators believe that Parada is a below-average backstop at the present with the potential to improve, but is not necessarily locked to stay at the position in the future. On the plus side, he is mobile behind the plate, has improved framing ability, and has an accurate arm. On the negative side, Parada has a below-average arm strength and needs to improve blocking pitches. Runners took advantage of his defensive deficiencies in 23, attempting to steal a whopping 150 times on him in 615 two-thirds innings behind the plate, and succeeded 122 times, a catastrophic 81% success rate. He committed 10 errors and had 7 passed balls. Constant activity in the base paths almost certainly had a snowball effect on his other defensive abilities by making him rush, and Parada will need to improve and formulate a plan to limit stolen bases while he is being behind the dish in order to improve his in-game abilities as a defensive catcher. Parada is athletic enough in the outfield. He doesn't have a quick first step, but once he gets going, he should be rangy enough to handle left field with no major issues. But every effort and every care should be given to him continuous development as a catcher before he's moved from one of the highest positions on the defensive spectrum to one of the lowest. To his credit, Parada has a high emotional and baseball IQ and is not one to shirk away from putting in the work and improving where improvements can be made. So that is the scouting report on Kevin Parada. One of the things that was said on MLB.com is that Kevin Parada's had an issue staying strong during the season. And if you just going through some of the batting averages, it seems like he wore down. That seems to be an issue. He's got to get his endurance up if he's going to be a catcher at some point in the major leagues. He's going to get to the majors. I'd be very shocked if he wasn't. But he has to learn how to be a better catcher, and he has to learn to do a better job of making more contact. Once he does those two things, he's going to be a very interesting and a very intriguing player. He's only played one full season in the minor leagues. We need to be very patient with him. I would expect that he'll probably start the year in Binghamton. That's going to be very, very patient with him. We'll find this year will be a better idea. We'll have a better idea on where Parada is in terms of his development. So, let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.